Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Sunday, January the 19th, the year 2020. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap. Now, I bet most of you are probably watching the Green Bay San Fran game, and it looks like San Fran is kicking the cheeseheads, you know what. Okay, but as you're trading, and in fact, even if you're betting, you have to make sure you don't risk any more on any particular trade or bet than you're willing to lose on a trade or bet. That's just good risk management. The money management side, you have to know when to take profit off the table. It's that simple. So let's look here at the weekly gap chart, and we see we've got 8 pairs that haven't filled. The dollar yen has filled so far, and you can see that right there we had a gap down and it filled. And for those of you just tuning in, if it's red it gapped down, if it's green it gapped up. If it says filled, then from Friday, the price from today's open to Friday's close, if there was any gap in it, the price filled it. So we've got the euro here on the year-to-date analyze, 113 pips below the yearly open. See, it put the yearly low in what? Oh, let's see, how many bars ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 days ago. See, it filled that big green candle there. I'm still looking for a possible fill down here on the euro. Switching over to the yen, you can see it put the yearly high in Friday, and it looks like it might want to make a new one today. And we're just now putting in today's range. We're way above the opening range of the first day of the month. Here, looking at the weekly open chart, you can see we've already hit the weekly buy zone. So if you traded the gap, it would have filled you, and you probably would have taken, at least 10 pips profit or so. For the range on the month, 263, average 302. So we're still about 40 pips shy. Inside bar on the euro dollar here, you can see we are just now breaking through that inside bar that happened 18 days ago, this bar right here. And if we look to the dollar yen, we're way above those inside bar trades. But let's see, for the week, we've got the New Zealand pairs, inside bar, another New Zealand pair, inside bar. And we've got some action here for the daily. Weekly, US CAD, Euro dollar, put in an inside bar. Let's switch back over and take a quick peek at that. That was on the weekly, so we have to shift over here. You can see there's that inside bar. So short at 1085, long at about 117, looks like 15. So that's on the euro inside bar. Also monthly, so if it breaks this level here, I look to go long. Range, nothing even close to 100 at this time of the day. We've only been trading, just a couple of hours, about 3 hours now, 2 or 3 hours. Yearly H1 highest open. The weekly just got put in that last hour. And daily H1 right here, weekly H1, lowest open there. Looking at the buy zone, took out the pivot. So another pivot trade was successful. Now let's take a quick look at the euro on the pivot trade. We still have a pivot to close right there. Rat zone. I don't think there's any pairs good on the rat zone at the moment. We see we took out the pivot on the dollar, and there's the weekly pivot, 109.97. Now, if we look here on the pivot, once again, we took it out, took this one out. But if we shift over to the weekly, you can see we missed last week's pivot. So far, we've missed this week's pivot. Take a quick look at the euro. There's that weekly pivot right there. And if you're wondering why it's overrunning, it's just because I cranked up the number to something huge, so we would just see how many missed pivots there were over the last 1,000 bars. So over the last 1,000 weeks, you can see there's a huge gap between 2014 and 2017, and only one last year on the euro. Now, somebody, I think I might have answered, but they were really wondering about, picking methods and how to trade. Well, when you start out, you pick one method and you stick with it. And the thing about trading is you're dealing with something where the outcome isn't guaranteed. You could do something one time and it doesn't work, but you could do the exact same thing and the next time it works, and the next time it works, and the next time it works. Or it could work the first time and not work the next 10 times. But boys and girls and fellow traders, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. And you also know trading's very risky. You can lose all your money. So if you're looking for investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, seek it from an accredited financial professional. That way, if you wind up losing your money, you got your advice from an accredited financial professional rather than some guy with some strange name on Yahoo videos or on some forum or bulletin board or email that you received. So the disclaimer's out of the way. So you find a system that it looks like, based on statistics, it can pay off. You've got the edge that if you do it enough times and you do everything right, like, you don't take any huge losses, you manage that side, the risk side, that the reward will reward you, sometime in the future. So that's the thing about trading. You can't try to trade perfect, meaning that every trade's going to be a winner, or you're going to find this holy grail system. I mean, things like the buy zone and these pivots, they have a high percentage, but sometimes, it might take a while for them to pan out. I mean, right here, if you got in this trade trying to take out that pivot, you had to wait a whole week, possibly. I don't know how many days there were between here and here, but, there again, and then here again, once again, you pivot, it just doesn't always happen in the time frame that you would like it, which is usually, sometime in the next 2 seconds, right? You want to put that trade on, you want it to rocket, you want to get out and make those 20, 40, 50, 100 pips, right? Okay, so you can see here, price opened here. It didn't want to stay between the 0 and the 10, and it didn't. So now price came here. It didn't want to stay between the 10 and the 20, and it didn't. And it came right back down. So chances are, I would say before the end of the day, it's going to either go above the 20 or below the 10. I mean, that's just the way it is. We can take a quick look at the euro dollar, and you can see here, same thing. It opened right here, didn't want to stay, but now it's back in. But I would imagine before the end of the trading day, it's going to either be below 110.90 or above. It'll put in a low below here or a high above here. just because of the range. Wick zone, you can see we started in, we came out, we entered one. Chances are price will exit the wick zone. Okay, horizontal line trade. There was a nice one at the previous day's open to the long side. So that trader that wants to know, how do I select? I think I mentioned this before, and you guys are probably sick of hearing it. It's just horizontal lines. You go with the candle colors. If price is moving up and it hits the line, price is going up. Now you could enter the trade and it could drop like a rock. That's why you have your stop loss. I can't tell you what's going to happen next. I can only say based on statistics what's going to happen. Okay, Einstein line. Looks like I didn't refresh the chart. Let's see, where were we from? So you see here, that was from the 17th. Prices, gave those Einstein lines, gave a couple of nice trades there. And we can refresh the chart and start a new Einstein line for today, right here, and we'll see what price does. Okay, on the dollar yen at the tick level, it's moved up all of about 1 or 2 pips. Nothing to get excited about, right? Not like those 49er fans. I have some friends, I know they're screaming, they're loving it. Here we go again. Dollar yen, looking, we wanted to fill that gap. Okay, here's the daily open plus half the min ATR, which happened actually, which happened to be the ATR 2, and the max ATR happened to be the ATR 13. There's the halfway point. So you see it hit that halfway point and it's starting to waver. So even though that's only 9 pips away, I mean, if you picked up 5 or more pips taking just that one simple trade, once again, those are pips in the profit column. And see here, range 14, range on the week 14, average range 131. You can see where we're looking to get the weekly, weekly range, it's the ATR range or not from the open. Horizontal lines to be taken out. Oh, if you're wondering, this is a TRO bar stats indicator, one of the first indicators I wrote that had doesn't even have the date on it. That's how long ago, before I started putting those comments in. And all it does is it just tells you how many red, 1 red in a row, 1 green in a row, 2 reds in a row, 2 greens, so on. You can see here that over the, I'm just showing for 10 bars, we had 4 bars in a row of green, so that's 4 bars, 3 red, that makes 7. We had 2 of 1 in a row, that makes 9, and 1 red in a row, 10, because a trader that's known me for years asked in an email, so I'm answering your question. There you go. So it's the old TRO bar stats to figure out how many times in a row. And this is basically where I came up with the idea of the buzzard reversal, because if we crank this number up to, let's just look at the last 1,000 H1 bars, you can see here, after 3 or more, it doesn't happen too often. So that's when you start looking for a price to reverse. It's the same candle color, 3 bars in a row or more. Like here, 1, 2, 3, there's a 4th, but you see we got the reversal. So, okay, this was just the, I've already shown this chart before. Higher high, higher low, lower low, higher low, higher high, lower high. Yeah. So anyway, fellow traders, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the football game if you're watching. And when you trade, just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks.